Welcome to Backroads. I'm Andrew Dickey, and this is a podcast about the adventure within the adventure of Pat and Ashley's road trip across the country. I'm Andrew. They need no introduction. It's the dynamic duo, the celebrities of TVA, Pat and Ashley.
That's us. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Well, welcome back, folks. It has been a while since we've all been back together, right? We had an amazing first season, but it feels really, really good to be back in the saddle. How do y'all feel?
Oh my gosh. I mean, who doesn't look forward to getting to do a road trip like this again? I mean, last summer was so much fun that when they told us we were going to get to do it again and getting to do new cities this time, I was ready for it.
I was right on board too. I mean, we got to see some amazing things last time, but, we just get to continue it. So I'm really, really excited.
Yeah. So just thinking about season one, you get all those butterflies in your stomach, right? Like, we got to visit some amazing places, like y'all said. And, got to visit my hometown, Memphis. It was great to be back. It was great to be at back at the barbecue shop,
So good.
Right? And it's good for me to be back because it was home. It was great to be back and see all the people I love and the communities that are so special to me. And what was some of y'all's favorite moments from season one?
Well, I'm going to, I was just thinking about the aquarium in Chattanooga where we got to pet the fish.
The sturgeon.
The sturgeon. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Our living dinosaurs.
Yes.
I think first, let's see. Let's do a quiz to see if Pat and I can remember where all we went.
Where all we went.
Sure.
Okay. We've already said Memphis and Chattanooga.
Nashville.
Knoxville. Muscle Shoals.
Bristol.
Bristol, because we went to Virginia.
Right. And Blue Ridge,
Georgia.
Because we hit all 7 states in the
Kentucky
Valley.
Dam.
Kentucky.
We haven't got... Oh, Tupelo. Oh my gosh, the first TVA city.
Absolutely. Right.
You mentioned it, Pat. We got to go to all 7 states in our service territory, which is great. I mean, we really got such a good snapshot of where we live in this region and all the people that are here and everything that made those places so unique. And visiting TVA locations was awesome too.
That's what I was going to say. The thing that surprised me, and I think it was the most, one of my favorite parts that maybe I wasn't expecting. Obviously, Memphis was fun. Nashville was amazing. But I really liked when we went to Tupelo and we got to go visit our gas plant and going to New Caledonia.
Yes.
And I mean, you would have thought that, we were... actual celebrities coming to the site. And so just getting to go and to meet folks, and these are our coworkers that on a normal occasion in our day-to-day we would have never crossed paths. So having that opportunity to go out and getting to meet all of our coworkers, and just getting to see what they're doing and how they're working to keep power on or supporting an outage or whatever they're doing. It was just amazing to learn about their jobs.
Yeah.
It truly was. And they, there's so many different jobs out there, and it was great really just to get a glimpse of all that TVA does across the valley. Because you mentioned the power, but we also visited recreation areas. We also talked to biologists. We went fishing, so I mean, we got to see a lot of the different facets of TVA. So I really enjoyed that.
Yes. I'll also just mention some fun things that I feel like maybe weren't seen last year on the adventure is we did go fishing. We also got stuck on a boat a little bit, had some technical issues. It was hot.
We almost saw Jack White too.
Oh, we almost had a celebrity sighting. So we had so many different little things that happened, behind the scenes that, I feel like that's kind of why we were wanting to do this little podcast this year was just to try to share a little bit of extra stuff that we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it like we've said before, we just got to see so much stuff last year. And, we are an engineering company. We are in the energy space, right? And we got to see a bunch of that last year, and we have a lot of cool stuff to look forward to this year. And one of those important things to us is a buzzword that we like to say, clean energy, right? Mm-hmm. Clean energy is super important to TVA. And it's very interesting to say that, clean energy is important to other companies, but since our founding, at TVA, clean energy has been super important to us. And, Pat, since you are our historian, can you enlighten us a little bit about the original clean energy source TVA has always had?
Sure. The original clean energy sources, the Tennessee River. And, we built those hydro facilities. Of course, as you all know, we acquired Wilson Dam that's down in Muscle Shoals. We started building Norris, followed up with Wheeler in North Alabama, Pickwick Landing, Gunnersville, and so, yes, for many years, really, until, 1941 was our first coal plant. So from 1933 until that time, and even after, we provided clean, affordable energy through almost 100% hydro.
Wow. That's hard to imagine today with the amount of people that we have. We would need quite a few more dams. Oh, my goodness. Thank goodness we have other energy sources too. Right. But, we went into the 50s then, and, we've got the beautiful little nuclear age. I feel like you can kind of see the classic cartoons describing that idyllic 1950s age with the new nuclear age. But that really also allowed us to do so much more with bringing in more jobs and industries into the area. And believe it or not, I think some people, I think of like, The Simpsons or whatever, but that is not the case with what we have here at TVA. Far from it. But, it's really cool to see, going into a nuclear plant and learning about all of the different safety measures that they have and the ways that they keep, obviously our employees safe, anyone who's coming in and out of the plant, but also making sure that the community nearby knows that they are safe and protected and that we're all doing our jobs.
Absolutely. And, a recurring theme here is innovation, right? Right. We are always striving to be a leader in clean energy. We have always done that in the past, and we're doing that now. And that kind of leads us into one of our first stops on our trip here at Von Orr. Von Orr was a pretty special place that we got to tour.
I found that so interesting. And you were talking about safety.
Oh, my goodness.
They talked to us a little bit about safety, but since we're talking a little bit about behind the scenes, Von Orr is our battery energy storage system that we got to visit. And, but the day that we were there, there was a lightning storm.
Oh, gosh.
A storm with multiple strikes of lightning. And as you know, you have to wait. Mm-hmm. Can't be outside, certainly not filming around that battery area. So, that delayed us a little bit. But that facility was just totally fascinating to me. What they were talking about, how they, once again, it's that peak storage that we're looking at, but it's clean,
Yeah.
So you had, basically what we were able to see was just rows and rows of these just giant batteries that, we've got to charge it up somehow. So, when we don't need it, the power, our renewables are charging it up, and then we can just hold it. And then whenever we're in a situation where maybe it's a little hot or cold that day, then they can be like, turn it on, and it comes on so quickly. That was something cool. I mean, people that maybe know a little bit more about how power is made, this might be a little bit more well known, but when we called and need, when we have a hot day or something, we're preparing and we're looking at weeks in advance, but it takes time to bring, a unit online. Sometimes it's days, sometimes it's hours or minutes, and it's crucial time. It's crunch time for us sometimes. So to be able to have something that you can just flip a switch instantly and have, the megawatts that you need to keep the lights on is really cool. And he was telling us this is something that's here in Von Orr now, but it could be elsewhere in the TVA area in the future.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pilot project for us. we are always looking for new ways to meet demand and to meet them in an efficient and clean manner. And really, one of TVA's main goals is to provide low-cost, reliable energy to the Valley and the people that we serve. And, this is one of those projects that will help us do that in the future. And, when you think of sustainability, I get a visual of like solar power, windmills. But what if I told you that we got to go to a place that kind of blends everything from solar power to recreation at Melton Hill? It's the Melton Hill Sustainability Park, and it was a very, very special place to us. And believe it or not, it's been around for a while.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'll just say for myself, I grew up nearby in Oak Ridge, and it was really cool getting to go there and seeing this because I used to go fish there with my dad as a kid. And I mean, we would go up there all the time and go night fishing. And we would go, and just to be able to go back and now seeing all of these cool things that they have. And we've got all of these different solar panels and windmills and now EV chargers. We actually had like an EV for the day. And so it was perfect. Like just got to pull right up. There was a ton of chargers and just plug right in.
Yeah. And we got to meet a very special person, Steve.
Yes.
Steve was very knowledgeable and got to show us around the park to some of the things that, we talk about LED lights. We talk about these things. This is a great place for someone to come and kind of get a broad overview of what is available to the public to help be more clean energy focused and what we're doing across our service fleet to be more clean energy focused.
Right. And, he has been involved with that project since the very start of it. So he was the, very best to talk to about, the innovation aspect of it. But, all the things that were there from the solar to the, the house windmill, which I thought was fun
really cool
to see, the charging stations, it is a great place and so close. And, also mentioned there's a campground right there. It is a wonderful TVA recreational area. Yeah. There's a swim beach, so there's a lot to do there, but it's great that TVA put this kind of clean energy, sustainable model out there for folks to come and learn about all the different types of sustainable energy technology. So I enjoyed seeing that.
Yeah, it was really cool. And again, a learning moment for me to know that this is something that has existed since the early 2000s. I mean, some folks think that, we're, the South is super behind the times in this area. But in fact, this is something that we've been looking at and investing in, but we're doing it in a way that is we're looking at to the cost and making sure that we're doing the right thing by the people who we're serving. So it's cool to see that we're kind of now able to really invest in these clean energy technologies and all the different innovations that we're kind of dipping our toes into.
Yeah. And that, once again, we keep coming back to the word innovation, right? And I'm very proud to work for a company that has always put that at the forefront, doing what's right from the beginning and making sure that we're prepared for the future. I mean, it's a simple idea, but a lot of people don't do that. And, I'm just proud to be part of a company that actually is taking steps to move forward and secure clean energy for our future. And, we're talking again about innovation, but here's something. Let's change the subject a little bit. So let's think jet engines for a second. What does jet engines have to do with TVA? Well, I'll go ahead and answer that. We are heading into our next stop here at New Johnsonville, right? And how special of a place was that, Ashley?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, we were out there. This is actually not my first time at New Johnsonville, but it was really cool to be there and to be on this site where, it used to be a coal plant. Right. And now that when we were looking at it, it is the New Johnsonville Aeroderivative Project. So it's still under construction, but basically being able to take, this formerly what were used for a coal site, and then now that we are no longer using it as a coal site, And then we're still able to use it. We're still staying in the community there, which I think is really important. And now we're also, keeping jobs there, and we're building this new energy technology for us that is going to allow us to do even more of that like peak power and demand response, when we have a lot of power demand and we can quickly turn something on, get some power out of it, and do its job. So it's really cool that we all kept that on the same site. And again, just to keep the history of that, that's quite the story to tell.
Yeah, that site has a long history, and I'm so glad, like you mentioned, that they're keeping it in the community, providing new new jobs. But Justin, who showed us around, the senior project manager there, when he opened up to show us that engine, it was just incredible. I the way it just stood out there. And I will want to shout out one of the really cool things. We had a bracelet given to us, and it says Johnsonville Aero Derivative. And so that was a very, very thoughtful. I think Angie Austin did that for us. But that was a lovely gift. But it also shows, the people everywhere we've been, people are so proud of their facilities, and they're so proud about what they're doing there, how innovative it is. They just love to show it off. And I'm glad that we are able to actually show folks really all the different technologies that TVA is undertaking at this time, just to get that, clean, affordable energy to the folks, the 10 million folks, that we serve here in the region.
Yeah, I love, you hit on it, the pride of all of the people that we get to see. And, pride is contagious. And every time we go, it's like they welcome us into their own little knit, right? Their family. They are so proud to show off what they're working on and show y'all, despite y'all may not want to say you're celebrities, but everybody is so excited to see y'all whenever we visit a plant, a generating site. It's just awesome. It really is.
Well, for me, it's just like, it's fascinating to learn how this stuff works. I mean, for me, I see something spelled out, in a story, or, we're writing about it in our job doing social media. And it's one thing to see it in that context, or just to see like a picture of it, but to go and to stand there and to like be standing in front of this huge jet engine and to know like how many of them we'll have on site is so cool. And just getting to talk with Justin and getting to hear from him, and then talking, just with all the other folks on the site, and just getting to see what they're doing. And it's just a really, really neat part of this trip. And I'm glad that we get to kind of show it off to other folks, because not everyone else, even at TVA, gets to see this kind of stuff.
Right. We've been very fortunate, and I have to agree with you 100% there, because, you read about it and it's like, but then you go there, it's like, both the new, the Johnsonville Aeroderivative and the Von Orr battery site. I mean, I was just amazed at how interested and excited I was, and how much I learned just being there. So I hope that we can bring some of that enthusiasm and information to folks who are watching this, and they get that feeling that we got, because, you wouldn't think that the
big old battery
would be that exciting, but I was truly, really amazed. Yeah.
Working here has made me into a real energy dork.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really cool though.
Yeah, it's great to know those things. And for the engineers that are taking on these projects and making it happen, they are so smart, and they do such a good job of explaining it to us.
But also, like, this week too, both at Von Orr and New Johnsonville, these are things that are currently being built and were being constructed. So we're also seeing tons of craft folks and, laborers who are building these incredible sites, making sure that everything's done properly, safely. Like, that's also been really impressive being on these job sites. And they take their jobs so seriously. Like we are given a list of rules and we follow them to a T. And so it's also, really cool getting to see kind of that side too. I think back, to the, construction of other things at TVA. And I'm like, are we kind of witnessing that kind of history?
We are. And that's a great circular moment there, because you go from hydro to these, aeroderivatives. I mean, we're here in the 21st century, and, those technological advances that we've embraced throughout our history, we're continuing that. And that, we're just marching toward the future with that.
Absolutely. And, and talk about last season one more time, we got to visit a small modular reactor, the future side of it, at Clinch River. Yeah. And it's awesome to be part of that. Like, we are always moving forward, and that's something really special to be part of. But speaking of moving forward, guess where we're going next week? The pretty close to the home of our very own Patty Ezell. We'll be in Johnson City.
Johnson City. Woo, the Tri-Cities. All right.
I know where we're eating.
You know where we're eating. We're eating at Pal's. Frenchy fries.
Frenchy fries, a peachy tea, and a delicious hamburger.
Well, I get a hot dog, but, whatever.
But we have some pretty cool stuff on the schedule for next week, and we're really excited to get out there. We'll be visiting ETSU. We'll be checking out Pal's, of course. It should be a lot of fun.
We're going to the Discovery Center, right?
Oh, please, can we go? I want to go see the dinosaur bones.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations. We are indeed going, and I cannot wait. It's going to be an absolute blast.
Don't they also have a big old solar farm too?
That's what I've heard. So we'll definitely check out a big solar farm. We'll meet with some of our local power company partners at Bright Ridge, and I heard that they even have some goats hanging around that solar farm. So you guys might get to meet a couple furry friends as well.
Okay. Is it goats or is it sheep?
Something that eats grass out there. I'm a city boy. I don't know.
Andrew wouldn't know a goat from a sheep. That's the real problem. It was sheep.
That's true.
Andrew, it's just like, I don't know. That thing has some fur and 4 legs. It's a goat.
And it eats grass, so that works. Well, that wraps up this episode of Backroads. Make sure to tune in on season 2 on all of our social platforms, and you can find this podcast on all major platform streaming services and YouTube. See you next time.